This is Economy Watch, what you need to know about New Zealand's economic life today. Brought to you by interest.co.nz.
Kia ora, and welcome to Wednesday's Economy Watch, where we follow the economic events and trends that affect Aotearoa. I'm David Chaston, and this is the international edition from interest.co.nz, and today we lead with news that financial markets are being rattled somewhat by the isolationist rhetoric from the incoming US president on tariffs, especially as they will apply to Canada, Mexico and China. However, despite the incendiary nature of the talk, the market reactions have been relatively mild, with the expectation the adults in the room will calm things in January. But these reactions have hit commodity currencies. One reason restraining Trump might work is that his mind is still in the 2020 past. In fact, the Biden administration has been particularly successful in restraining drug imports, fentanyl in particular, so overdose deaths are falling rather fast now. And restraining the drugs trade from China and Mexico is a motivating factor for those tariff threats. It was during the last Trump administration that those deaths spiked. Anyway, away from the ramblings of a bitter old man, first up today we can report that higher dairy prices for two key commodities at the overnight GDT Pulse auction event. Skim milk powder rose 0.5% in US dollar terms and was up 1.8% in New Zealand dollar terms. Whole milk powder rose another 2.2% in US dollar terms to be up 3.5% in New Zealand terms. This will give upside to all the analyst Farmgate payout forecasts, and it seems likely they will coalesce around the $10 a kilo mark now. That, of course, would be a record high. In the US, their retail impulse is staying healthy as measured by the Red Book survey, and last week it rose 4.9% above the same week a year ago, holding the expansion we've observed for the past 8 months. This was supported by a rise in consumer sentiment as measured by the Conference Board survey. It is now at the top of the range that has prevailed over the past 2 years. November's increase was mainly driven by more positive consumer sentiment of the present situation, particularly regarding their labour market. Further, there was an improvement in the Texas service sector in November, taking it into an expansion. And a return to expansion was also reported in the service sector in the Mid-Atlantic states. But none of this has spilled over into confidence in home buying, yet anyway. New home sales in the US in October dropped more than 17% from the previous month to a seasonally adjusted annualised rate of 610,000, and that takes it to 9% lower than the same month a year ago. Singapore's factory production rose by only 1.2% in October from a year ago, slowing sharply from a downwardly revised 9% rise in the previous month and disappointing analysts. Activity slowed significantly for biomedical manufacturing. And here's something we rarely report on, but is an indicator of tight Asian economies. Car sales in Thailand sank 36% in October from a year ago to be the 17th consecutive month of decline, driven primarily by high household debt and significant tightening of loans. And later today in Australia, we'll be following the October CPI indicator, and it is expected to reveal a small rise from the prior month. And join us at 2 o'clock this afternoon for the RBNZ's monetary policy statement and OCR review. A 50 basis point cut has been widely expected, but it'll be a 12-week gap until February the 19th, 2025 at the next MPS, so this review has to carry them through a period that may have considerable international uncertainty attached to it. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now just on 4.32% and rising 3 basis points from this time yesterday. And the price of gold will start today at $2,629 an ounce and down a minor $2 from yesterday. And oil prices are also little changed at just under $69.50 a barrel in the US, while the international Brent price is just under $73.50 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar starts today at 58.3 US cents and down a minor 10 basis points from yesterday. Against the Aussie, we're 20 basis points higher at 90.2 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're down 20 basis points at 55.6 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at just on 68.1 and down 10 basis points from yesterday. And the Bitcoin price starts today at $94,496 and down another 1.2% from yesterday. Volatility of the past 24 hours has been moderate at just on plus or minus 2.5%. You can find links to the articles mentioned today in our show notes, and you can get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora. I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again tomorrow.